Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jim from Team Whirlwind, and today we are going to watch over a GOAT format match between myself on the left hand side of the screen and a teammate, Jordan, playing his Chaos build. Jordan wins the die roll and starts off here with a Pot of Greed into Graceful Charity. That's two of the Trinity cards that you can get in GOAT. All he's missing now is Delinquent Duo. Starting off really strong, he's just thinking on his discards here. GOAT format is it's one of those formats where you really have to think about everything. I mean, he's discarded, I couldn't see what the first one was, but he's got rid of a Breaker, which is one of the power monsters. He's then just going to set two back row, pass it over to me. I'm going to start by activating Nobleman of Crossout, banishing a Spirit Reaper. I'll then follow up by playing my own Pot of Greed, and just to mimic the last turn, I also opened the Graceful Charity Pot of Greed combo. My turn are slightly more explosive than Jordan's had been. I pitch a Sangan and a Air Knight Parshath from my hand. I then activate Reasoning. I can't remember whether or not I hit this one. I think he calls 4 here. He does, and as a result, DD Warrior Lady hits the grave. I'll then follow up by normal summoning a Pyramid Turtle and getting in for 1200 damage. There's no Sakuretsu in the back row there, so I'm just going to set one and pass. End phase, it gets Dust Tornadoed. Jordan's turn takes over once again. Checking the grave, banishing a Thunder Dragon and a... I think that was the Breaker that was banished there for the Summon of Chaos Sork, banishing the Pyramid Turtle. Of course, banishing Pyramid Turtle in this matchup is amazing because Pyramid Turtle doesn't trigger, meaning I can't get any of my power plays from the deck. I do, however, have a normal summon of Tribe Infecting Virus. He chains Book of Moon, but forgets that priority is a thing in GOAT, so with priority we activate the Tribe Infecting Virus, and as that was the target off of the Book of Moon, he does not get to set the Chaos Sorcerer. That was a bit of a misplay on his part. Magical Merchant there milling the BLS from his deck, so he lost a massive power play there. Sets another 1 and another 2 back row and passes. I think somewhere along here I top deck into a Heavy Storm. Oh, that wasn't it. Looks like I'm just setting. I'm flip summoning the Tribe and punching over the Magical Merchant. I was half tempted when playing this out just to leave the Magical Merchant on the board, as it represented him then not having another light monster in the graveyard. But I'll flip Magician of Faith and grab back Graceful Charity on my turn. We'll fire it to draw 3 and discard 2. Looks like I'm discarding a Magician of Faith and a copy of MST to then follow up with a Nobleman of Crossout on the fresh set monster, being a Guard. Jordan picks up his deck to check here to see whether or not there are any more Guard. However, he is only on the 1 copy. It's 3 Spy, 1 Guard, and 1, I believe it's called Assailant, the one that does piercing. I will then Tribute Summon the Moth for Jinzo, banishing a Light and Dark from the grave to throw down Blackluster Soldier. And that's just the end of the game. This represents lethal on board, and being that Jinzo is up, there's no traps to activate. So BLS will swing. Oh, maybe this wasn't the end of the game. I've run into a spy, summoning a spy from the deck. Now the good thing about BLS is it does get to attack twice, so those two are cleared. A Jinzo and a Tribe will get in for a combined 4,000 damage here, leaving him on mega low. He draws. Yeah, reveals the hand and scoops them up. On to game 2. So this is game 2 here, starting up now. Jordan actually makes me go first, seeing to wait for me to set up anything that is worth him banishing with his chaos monsters. Is the way to beat zombies traditionally is to just banish them from the field. Vampire Lord, of course, recurs from the grave when it dies, which is the boss monster, and Pyramid Turtle is arguably one of the best recruiters in GOAT. I'm going to start by a normal summon Breaker and set a Mirror Force. Jordan's hand also does not look like it's got much gas in it here, but we are watching. A normal summoner Breaker comes down and with priority will gain its counter. Of course, there being nothing much I can do with a set Mirror Force. He Snatch Steals my Breaker the Magical Warrior. Uses his Breaker to remove a counter and blow up my Mirror Force. He'll then be getting in for 3,500 damage in the battle phase. I always have such problems with those, especially because it's not turned to me, it's turned to face the camera, that it's just so hard, especially with my fat sausage fingers on it. But I'll be drawing, and during the standby phase, gaining 1,000 life points off a Snatch Steal. And this is where the game gets a tiny bit crazy. I activate Reasoning. I think Jordan calls level 6 here, missing, so that I get to special summon the Magician of Faith. Which works because I have a tribute summon monster in the hand. I am Snatch Stealing my opponent's Breaker. So the one that has not used its counter, so that I may creature swap. I then tribute summon over his for the summon of an Air Knight Pashath. He activates Call of the Haunted. Oh no, I used Breaker to destroy Call of the Haunted. Pashath will punch over the Magician of Faith here, getting in for a 1,700 damage, and I get to draw a card, and then Breaker goes in as well. Now, because Creature Swap is a permanent switch, and the Breaker is still equipped with Snatch Steal during each one of my standby phases, even though I now control the monster, I shall continue to gain off of Snatch Steal. A card of destruction coming down here to discard a DD Warrior Lady and a Magical Merchant from my hand, along with a Magical Merchant and a Thunder Dragon from Jordan's hand. He draws into, I think, a second copy of Thunder Dragon there. Banishing a Light in the Dark from the graveyard to throw down Blackluster Soldier, which represents an almighty amount of damage on the board here. Runs over the Breaker for 14 and then runs over the Pasha for a further 11. The Snatch Steal should leave the board any second. I think I'm pointing it out. There we go. Yeah, that's a scoop. I had 3 tribute summon monsters in hand, staring down a BLS. So, game 3. There is a slight problem here with game 3. The camera cut out halfway through the recording. So, this is still turn 1. I activated Reasoning The Jordan called level 6 and I milled a Jinzo to the grave. So I set a back row and normal summon Pyramid Turtle, and then we realised the camera had gone out, so we picked it up from there. No damage has been taken, nobody has drawn extra cards. Jordan pitching Thunder Dragon from his hand to grab 2 copies of Thunder Dragon, setting a Dakoichi, passing to me. I've just used Nobleman of Crossout on the Dakoichi. Checking his deck, he's only got the 1 copy in there as he sided them out. I then normal summon a Kaiku and get in for a 3000 total damage here, using Kaiku to banish the light targets that Jordan has in grave. He's picking that up to have a quick read here. Set 1 and pass over to me. I can see my hand consists of a Mystical Space Typhoon. I do Tribute for a Air Knight Parshath. Taking 100 damage here as the set was a Gravekeeper Spy. And as I can't currently out it, I think when he summons a second from the deck, I've got nothing to do but pass. He actually goes for Gravekeeper's Guard, as I think he's drawn 1 to 2 copies of Spy in hand. He normal summons Tsukiyomi and targets the Kaiku to set it. I fire this a bit prematurely here, as it didn't really threaten too much, but Torrential Tributing to clear the board. And he's stuck with just Darks in grave at the moment. Oh wait, did he just set a monster? Oh, okay, there we go, yeah. I think we both noticed that. And then I top deck a Book of Life, banishing the Tsukiyomi so that he can't recur it via any means, to special summon back the Pyramid Turtle, getting in for 12, setting a back row. We're in a really dominating position here. This is just all out, the best we can do. Jordan's just staring at his hand, waiting for this to go. Sets a monster and passes turn. We draw into, I think that was a Sakuretsu armor. Oh, sorry, I do apologise for my little cough there. I think I've got a cold on the way, but a normal summon, a tribute summon of Ryokiri has the attack power necessary to punch over his set Spy. I then draw and set a Magician of Faith and punch over Knight Assailant. He does Knight Assailant the Ryokiri, which represents a big swing in momentum here. Mystical Space Typhooning my Mystical Space Typhoon. Really effective use of back row clearing there. Game 1, he Dust Tornadoed my Dust Tornado. Game 3, it's Magical Space Typhoon for Magical Space Typhoon. However, I do have Magician of Faith. And I go for the Graceful Charity that was dumped in the graveyard turn 1. However, I realise that that is an incorrect play, so I decide to opt instead for Book of Life. I tribute summon for a Vampire Lord. Slap down the Book of Life, banishing his, I think Knight Assailant is the pick here. It is for my Ryokiri. Proceed to the battle phase, and this should represent lethal. And I'm telling him to dump off a trap with Vampire Lord here. Again, I'm really sorry for the cough. I've got the world's worst cold coming on here. I can just feel it. Hopefully a couple of days, and by the next video I'll be back to tip-top shape. That's the concede from Jordan there. End of. Vampires take the match.